What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Daily Dose, where we discuss hot topics. All you got to do, though, before we get started, is subscribe down below so you get notifications whenever you drop this heat. My name is Teddy Moore.
I'm Melissa Rios.
And I'm Nick Cannon.
Yeah, man. Today, we are talking about Hove, H-O-V, the GOAT. In my opinion, he's one of the GOATs for sure. Apparently, people are giving JayZ a hard time because JayZ has partnered up with the NFL. I guess he's definitely going to produce the Super Bowl halftime show, but I guess his job is to be the bridge between the NFL and social injustice issues. A big thing that they were saying was when Hove said he spoke to Kaepernick, Kaepernick's lawyers came out and said Hove never talked to Cap before signing the deal. It means he signed the deal already, and he was just giving Caps a heads up, which is totally against what JayZ was saying. JayZ made it seem like Cap kind of gave him the green light.
So we know that JayZ is going to be a part of the halftime show, producing or consulting. But the other thing that you said, kind of being the middleman, is that part of his title?
I guess it's where the NFL wants to make sure that they address these social injustice, issues.
Is that part of his title?
Like I guess it's part of his official title. I really don't know. It's just a weird partnership. I don't understand it too much.
Yeah, I'm confused by it as well. But, you can't really bet against JayZ. The things that we do know, he doesn't need the money.
Okay.
He doesn't need the attention. He has made rap bars and references to, the Super Bowl wanting me, and I told him no.
Yeah.
He packed stadiums too, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So for him to be sitting next to Roger Goodell and saying, now we're gonna move forward, it's perplexing.
It looks wild.
I don't see what he gets out of it. I don't see what anyone gets out of it, really, unless Colin gets a job, because it's not gonna end. It's not gonna bring any race relations closer. There's still an owner, employee, player mentality. That's never going to change.
Well, in his statement, you can see him in the video. He says kneeling wasn't about a job. So right now when you say Colin getting his job back, it's like...
I wish someone would have challenged him on that statement.
Yeah.
Because the kneeling ultimately is what lost Colin the job.
Right.
Because the kneeling was about the injustice, and it was a peaceful protest.
But then he got fired.
But then once he was
Or
no
he didn't
longer
come back.
hired for as an NFL quarterback, we all made a statement, JayZ included,
right,
that we were going to band together and boycott the NFL until Colin got a job. And some people, some people went along with it and said, yo, I'm not supporting that. And
a lot of people
to
did.
them.
Yeah.
They're like, look, I don't care if he plays or not. Some
Rihanna.
people weren't even like, look, I don't care about Colin Kaepernick and thought what Colin did was disrespectful and selfish.
Right.
Shout out to all of those people who stood by their beliefs. But to step up and to say, we're rocking with you.
Yeah.
And then as soon as an opportunity or money is placed in front
Choosing
of you,
to say,
then
oh,
we never said that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a little...
I just want to say, of course, there was no pushback because the NFL chose the reporters who were there. They were only allowed their own cameras. I think one photographer.
I think Charlemagne was there.
Yeah. Oh, he was there? Well,
I think Charlemagne was one of the ones who asked that question of I think Charlemagne specifically asked the question for a man who was making a peaceful protest who still is unemployed by the NFL, how can you take this job? And anytime somebody starts the statement off with, that's a good question.
they're thinking of a lie in the back of their head.
The stuff that's coming next is going to be the finesse.
There's no way that Hove is a brilliant man, right? There's just no
Absolutely.
way that Jay doesn't know that in a way he is co-signing the NFL saying you can protest about injustice, but in the way that we tell you is good enough, right? So by him partnering up with the NFL, he's kind of co-signing what the NFL has been saying and others have been saying is, hey, you can protest, just not that way. Not in our field.
Yeah, all the amazing things JayZ has done for the community and all of his strong activism.
Yeah.
I'm confused because right now it looks like the NFL is winning.
I think
It looks like we got JayZ to co-sign us opposed to
Anybody
JayZ
else
getting the NFL to co-sign him.
Yeah,
That's the
because
win.
He said, we all know the issue now. What's next? Let's move on to the next issue, which is police brutality. That's his highlight. That's what he's saying. But I think that everybody else is kind of like, no. We haven't solved the police brutality issue.
And the NFL is not going to.
They added another issue was you're telling me how to protest. So now we have two issues.
You're telling me that we're done kneeling when, in fact, you weren't even kneeling the whole time. You said it in the song, but there was actually people that were going through that.
Right. And you decide when it stops.
If you didn't actively participate in that protest as far as like kneeling and taking that stance, you can't determine when it's over. But I think I want to take Hov at his word. I want to take Hov and say he's being genuine.
I'm a businessman.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to tell you. The same guy who said, I'll be damned if I drink Belvedere while Puff got to rock, meaning like I'm going to rock with Puff no matter what. I'm rocking with my people. Also said, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. And you got to think, like, what is the plot here? Like, what is he trying to do in the long game? Meaning, like, is he trying to get in good with the NFL to eventually purchase a team? You know, like, we're thinking, like, that's a selfish way of thinking it. Maybe if he's still thinking about it, you know, it being monetary and beneficial to him. But what if, like, Hov is doing it to be like, all right, in a way, I'm going to figure out how to employ Kaepernick. Maybe not get him back to the quarterback position he wants to play in, but in some way, what if he brings Cap along with, you know, as far as
Colin Kaepernick is a quarterback that's ready and active.
Mm-hmm.
There's videos on his Instagram that he posted.
3 years later, he's still ready.
But even you know, it's him and Eric Reed, you know, on the field. Going in, I've actually worked out with those guys, and even I've had to catch a Colin Kaepernick football. That shit hurt.
Yeah,
like the speed on that football, man. Like
he's a beast.
The dude is active, especially when we know the position of quarterback is needed on so many teams. But a lot of these owners are scared of the attention that it would bring.
So do you think he wants his job back?
I know he wants his job back. If you go to his Instagram right now, his last post lets you know that it says like over, 890 something days ago, or 890 days unemployed. You know what I mean?
Because a lot of people say he's bigger than this, right? He doesn't even need
to
go back and play football
yeah.
anymore. Like he doesn't need that because he's huge. Like he's here for something else. But
he's a quarterback. He's ready to play.
You can't tell that man that's his passion. That number 7, you see it now with Kaepernick in the back, stands for way more than just a football team or player. I want to play devil's advocate,
and that's why
though.
JayZ. No, to your point, I don't want to cut you off, but that's the purpose of JayZ wouldn't have this opportunity to be sitting next to Roger Goodell and having these conversations and taking this so-called position if Cap wouldn't have kneeled. So to say that, we needed you to protest and watch me benefit from it. Ooh.
It's kind of, listen, but to play devil's advocate, Cap, and I know their people might not hear it or they flip it, but perception is everything, correct? Right? It's how you perceive things. Cap also took a deal from Nike, right, for some money. And Nike is not, it is also.
He also took some money from the NFL.
That's what I'm saying, like.
There was a settlement that, there was an employee grievance lawsuit thing that he actually had. He got a bag.
Yeah.
We don't know if it was an undisclosed amount. But
right, it was undisclosed amount.
But it was saying pretty much stating the fact that the NFL was keeping him from working and doing his job. And they actually had to give him money for this. So there's money being exchanged all around, and we know that the NFL is a giant corporation.
Yeah.
And so let's not act like people aren't getting paid.
Exactly. So he took a check from Nike, and this is Jay. And Nike's not the most outstanding company. They've done some questionable things in the past. Jay's taking some money from the NFL. But also, where do we go? So what if Jay wants to get this bag right now? Look at all the things he's done from the the Khalif Browder documentary, helping Meek, helping Wayne. No
one can ever deny say that JayZ's not for the community.
Was going through his stuff.
He's definitely for the community. He's done many things, but at the end of the day, he's JayZ. He gonna look out for himself.
At the end of the day,
you don't become a billionaire by accident. He been on his hustle.
You gotta be a shark.
I think we should just be patient. I think there's more to it. Let's just wait, not get in our feelings, and
we're definitely in our feelings.
Yeah.
We're definitely in our feelings, and I'm a side with my guy Kaepernick, but I'm not gonna say JayZ did anything wrong.
So you're not canceling JayZ yet?
No, he didn't do anything wrong.
You gotta wait and see.
Honestly,
you gotta wait and see.
I don't think JayZ did anything wrong. Now, Kaepernick or people that are still suffering because of the NFL might disagree. But even like, because if you're gonna be mad at JayZ, you got to be mad at every player and everybody who's employed by the NFL.
There's a bunch of players that
because if everybody would have rallied around Kaepernick the way that we said we were gonna rally around, and just really boycotted and didn't watch football, and players didn't show up to the game, that man would have had his job the next day.
Yeah.
But because people are like, yo, I'm feeding my family, which you can't knock. I can never get mad at a man for feeding and providing for his family, especially doing something that he's super talented at.
Yeah.
So in the same way that we can't get mad at all of the other players in the NFL, you can't get mad at JayZ.
I want to point out some things. For one, all the people that are like super like, fuck Kaepernick, like for kneeling, they're really losing their mind when they're like, they're partnered with a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like, I know for sure they're losing their mind. But also, I want to shout out, we did this on air, House of Don 1209, who said, Jay has a bigger plan. Just sit back and watch. Sometimes we have to get inside to make it change. So maybe that's what Jay is doing. We kind of got to give him the benefit of the doubt, because we've seen him time and time step up for the community. People will say otherwise about Hov in the community and what he did before he made it to rap.
That's I made the strong statement before.
He was feeding his family. He did what he had to do.
When you sell drugs to your people,
that.
it's not too far-fetched to sell out your people.
Listen. And we're not dumb either. We say like Hov wants to buy a team. Bro, we know that owners decide who owns the team, so we're not stupid.
And
we're
you got to, we know Hov got a lot of money, but you got to have a whole lot of money.
You got to have a different skin complexion.
Yeah.
To buy a team,
you got to
have.
I think they said something like it starts at $3 billion liquid is when they start entertaining it, and you got to get all the other billionaires to agree.
Well, out of everybody in the room, you're almost.
You're closer.
Closest one.
I definitely don't have $3 billion liquid. Not
Sheesh.
what I'm worth.
All right,
liquid. That means you could go get it right now and throw it around and swim in it like Black Youngster.
Black Youngster could buy an NFL team. No, but the serious question is, did Hov sell out? That's the talk that we're getting. Did Hov sell out?
What is sell out though? He sold
Like,
out stadiums.
He sold
out.
He took the
record
bag.
stores.
He took the bag and abandoned a cause or a movement. Even though that's what people are saying.
I just don't. I'm not gonna say so. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, people forget about the good that he did. When he's trying to make a move, they rush and say, "Hey, you're quick to say, hey, you ain't here for us." And it's like, dog, did y'all really forget about?
He's definitely here for the community.
Things that I've done, but hey, it's up to the people.
I just don't understand what this like. It's almost like if you see somebody over there fighting and it ain't none of your business, and then you jump in and you protect the person.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden you switch sides and then start fighting the person you was protecting. Like, you should have just stayed your ass out of the fight.
So you want to phrase that question? Do you think Hov should have just stayed out from the beginning, or did Hov basically?
I think Hov just said it himself. He got involved when he needed to. Now that everybody knows the problem, moving on. He's gonna move on. He's gonna get his bag and he's gonna address other problems.
We hope this isn't about money.
Like that halftime show.
Yeah, we hope this isn't about because right now we look like the NFL is controlling us.
Winning.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Did Hov sell out? Yes, no?
Damn, so you still going to ask that question?
I am going to ask it. Because that's what everybody's asking. That's what everyone is talking about.
I'm going to say no. Hov didn't sell out.
Okay.
That's my answer.
I'm going to say I'm going to wait, and then we'll talk about it again. I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
No, Hov didn't sell out. There's a greater plan.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Hey, nobody's bigger than HOV. And he's back for more. New York's ambassador. Drop a comment down below. Let us know. What do you think about this whole NFL situation, Kaepernick situation? Everybody, this is the Daily Dose. See y'all later on this week.
Bye.